Hey, good afternoon, friends. I am doing a 30-day marathon called Christ and Crafting for Christmas, and I've been doing edited videos or recorded videos that I've been posting on YouTube, but I have a headache today, and I don't feel so good, but I didn't want that to stop me, so I just decided to go live here, and then I'm going to post it on YouTube when I'm done. So, YouTube doesn't like you to go live. They penalize you, so I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to do a quick makeover. Sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it can just be really, really simple. But I wanted to show you, I've talked about this before, about the Monahan papers. I got a stack, like a bunch, from Beth from Vintage Bandits when I went up to see her in Lexington. And she gave me a bunch, and they are like a placemat size. I'm just going to show you some of them because they are awesome. There's so many different designs, and I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg. She's got hundreds. I don't even know how many she has. I love this one. I really wanted to use this one today, but the piece of board that I'm using, it's not going to work. And I didn't want to cut out the details because I really liked it. I love maps. She gave me a ton of maps. There's a whole bunch of different varieties, different color schemes. I mean, just there's so much you can do with these papers. I just love them. And they're a thick paper. And they're vintage looking, and they're fun. I mean, look at this bird. Isn't this sweet? They're falling all in my hands. I think I missed a couple. Look at that. I love that. I just love that. And so I've got a couple of winter scenes like this. I did want to use this one too, but I didn't want to cut out this moss. I'm going to have to save it for another piece. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Great designs. Great options, many options. I mean, look at this. These are great. And again, I got them from Beth at Vintage Bandit. And I'm sure that you know who she is, but I will put a link if you're wanting to purchase these. And I just use liquid patina as my decoupage medium. I used one of these already, and I still have a scrap of it, and it went it was easy. So, I mean, there's all kinds of themes for every season, and everything that you can think of, there is a Monahan paper for it, it seems. So, I'm going to just put these together. If you're interested in that, say, I'm interested, and I will post the link to her website. She is awesome, and she does a lot of paper crafts. I'm going to put this on this chair over here. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put this down. All right, so I chose this one. A simple, simple saying, right? But I love that. I love that word, celebrate. And this is a perfectly good sign. I could go ahead and put this in the store as is. It says home is where our story begins. And I think that this was just like printed on. It's not decoupage. I can't feel anything. I don't think it was stenciled. I think it was printed onto a piece of board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this in black because I'm going to match the paper. So I'm going to put this over here because that was about to fall. Guys, I cannot see your comments because I'm using Switcher and I can't see the comments right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply black velvet. You know, that's my favorite black, my go-to black. And I'm just using an artist brush. You can use any brush. You could use a chip brush if that's what you have. But I love black velvet. Guys, did you guys see my video for the Christ and Christ and Crafting for Christmas series yesterday. I posted it on here. I've been posting them every day. But y'all, my mother-in-law, isn't she so cute? She was my special guest yesterday. I wasn't sure if she would actually do it. We talked about it when we were at the mountains, and she said yeah, but then I think she was kind of second guessing it. So I wasn't sure, but I was so proud of her, and she did such a good job, and she loved her piece. Her piece came out great. She had never decoupaged before, never outside of when I painted her little thing that I did for her dresser. I mean, she did a couple of strokes on it, and that was it. She's never painted. So I'm gonna let this dry and for a second before I hit the heat gun. So it's Christ and Crafting, and I usually have a scripture, right? So I want to go ahead and get to it. I probably should have done that first. All right, let me talk to you for a second. And guys, if you're not into it, please don't say anything bad on my page. Be kind. All right. So I wanted to read a scripture. I don't have I'm going to talk a little bit about celebration, but in Psalm 95 it says, "Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before his presence with thanksgiving. Let us shout joyfully to him with psalms. For the Lord is the great God and the great King above all gods. In his hands are the deep places of the earth. The heights of the hills are his also. The sea is his, and he made it. And his hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker. For he is our God. And we are his people of his pasture and the sheep of his hand. Today, if you will hear his voice, do not harden your hearts, as in the rebellion, as in the day of the trial of the wilderness, when your fathers tested me." And now God is talking. "They tried me, though they saw my work. For 40 years I was grieved with that generation and said, 'It is a people who go astray in their hearts, and they do not know my way. So I swore my wrath, they shall not see my rest.'" So that doesn't sound like so promising, right? In the end, because he is love and he is kind, but there is a wrath to him as well. Because I think the problem is what they're talking about is the Israelites when they were in the wilderness. They started grumbling and complaining, and they didn't celebrate. That psalm starts out talking about rejoicing and singing songs and being joyful, and that's celebrating God, celebrating his goodness, celebrating his creation, celebrating who he made us to be. In everything that we do, we should celebrate every single day. We talked about rejoice in the Lord always. Yesterday. Wait, what was that? "This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." I posted something yesterday talking about rejoice always. That's celebrating. Rejoice and rejoy again and again and again. Joy again and again and again. Celebrate. All throughout the Bible, God would have them celebrate accomplishments, celebrate victories, so that they could remember. Because the moment that you forget, the moment that you start griping and grumbling and complaining, you separate yourself from God, because you start seeing all the negativity and you don't focus on who God is and how he can see you through, and he is the God of your refuge, and he wants us to remember that he is our God, he is our refuge, and to rejoice and to celebrate and everything. Esther, they everyone knows, for such a time as this, she's been created. We've all been created for such a time as this. But they celebrated, and they still celebrate, the Feast of Purim. And all of the feasts, all of the Jewish, is to remember what God did and to remember what God brought you from. And I just want to encourage you today to keep an open mind, to be positive, and to see God working in everything, even through trials, tribulations. I posted yesterday about when the store shelves are empty. Do not fear. Do not let anxiety take over. Celebrate, rejoice in all things. And it doesn't matter what's going on all around us, we can rejoice. And so that's my motivational speech to you. Celebrate everything, in all things, rejoice. And so that's what hit me when I saw this. I was just going through trying to find something, and I thought that is the perfect message. All throughout the Bible, it talks about rejoicing. The prodigal son, I'm going to hit this with the dryer. The prodigal son, when he came back home, they killed the fatted calf, right? And they celebrated God's answered prayers of the son returning home to his father. So we have to acknowledge those answered prayers and celebrate everything that God has done in our life, even when we don't understand it. So I hope that that encourages you and that blesses you to know that. So, of course, I'm using DIY paint. Now I can see the home coming through. You can see it, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be covering it up because we're going to decoupage it. But I wanted this to be black because I didn't like that fake wood look. And I'm going to put some transfers on it. I toyed with which transfers. I went through my scraps, and this is such a small board. I didn't want anything huge, and I didn't want to cover up the word celebrate. But look, as it's drying, it's getting better. It's not as noticeable. I'm sure if I would do a second coat, it would be even better. All right, so this is what I want to do. I'm going to put my heat gun there and pray that it doesn't fall. All right, so what I did prior to going live is see how I created those creases. I just tried to do a straight. I put it all the way to the edge like that so that it's nice and straight. I didn't grab any oh yeah, they are. They're right there. All right. And I just put it to the edge, and then I just creased it all throughout so that I would be able to cut it. And I only have a really small cutter, so I'll go ahead and I'll cut the sides with it so that I don't have to use my scissors for it. I don't cut so straight sometimes, and especially when I'm on a live. So I just make sure that it's straight here, and I always push it off to the edge anyway, but I didn't want that edge on here at all. So I'm just getting it on here. I think that's straight. Maybe. Alright, so I got my edges off. I wish I had a bigger cutter. Maybe one day. Alright, let's see if we can cut. So I'm just going to cut this. I went a little bit. Hey, it's hard to see with the light, but I probably should have went just a little bit bigger, and I didn't. Let me go. I'm going to go a little bit under this line. It is hard to see. Let me see if I tilt it. Guys, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I will go on here and look at the questions later. All right, so now I've got my paper. I'm going to push it off a little bit to the edge. Can you see that? Let me put this down more. Sorry about that. Okay, so I see when I cut it, you can actually see that white. So I'll probably hit that with some paint because I do not want to see that. Or should I go this way? Let's celebrate coming out. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Okay, so let me, and then I'm going to put the flowers on this side. I was going to put the flowers on this side, but I think I like it better. I'm just going to cut this a little bit. All right. So I'm going to put this, I like to dry fit my paper. And I have some wiggle room since this is thick. And I'm just going to lift this up. This is liquid patina. probably didn't need that much. All right, let's see. Actually, I did put it a little bit thicker when I did the other thing. So, I don't know. Can you hear my dog chomping? She eats so loud. But she can't hear herself, I'm sure. Okay, let me just do this. Because this is a lot. And hopefully I'll get it straight. But I think I'll have some wiggle room. So this seals my paint. Alright, I'm gonna take some off. And I'll use it for the top coat. I'm just putting it right here on the side. Are you like me? Are you messy? There's a hair. Okay, I think I like this amount of glue. We'll see. Oh, I should have brought my, what you call it? The brayer. Alright, let's see. I think I like this going to the edge. And see, because it's not tissue paper, I can use my hand, but the brayer would have been really good too. I'm going to make sure I get all of my edges. Have you guys ever used Monahan papers before? I tried. I went onto their website to see if I could sell their papers, and I found their website to be so confusing. I believe they're in the UK. I probably need to look into it because their papers are so inexpensive, and you could really purchase a bunch of them. And, you know, it's better to purchase a bunch, honestly, because of shipping. So if you're going to get papers from Beth, go ahead and get you a whole bunch. I mean, they're crazy cheap. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with the gun. Probably need to dry this too. I'm gonna put some transfers on this side, so I'm glad that I did the whole thing. Just be careful with your heat gun. You don't want to get too close because it will start bubbling. The big top and liquid patina, because it has top coat in it, will bubble. You can see it dries. It comes out white, but it dries clear. Let me know, have you guys been watching the Christ and Crafting? I know some of them were kind of long, but I mean, I've watched other people's lives, and they're pretty long, especially on, like, other Jamie Ray and all of them. I don't know if that's going to stay wrinkled or not. I'll show you, while, I'm going to see if that'll dry and just on its own. I'll show you, in case you didn't see, where I used that Monahan paper. It's right behind me. I created a faux book, and it did really well. It did not wrinkle up at all. But this is a Monahan paper. I don't know the names of them. And then this is another one, and then I added transfers on top. And so if you ever wanted to add transfers to paper, it is super, super easy. You don't need to put a top coat on it. It goes right on without any problems. So I've got, yeah. I'm hoping that this will kind of iron itself out. If not, it'll have to do. And I could always hit it with the sanding sponge. Okay, I want this to be dry before I hit it with my transfer because it does not like to stick to anything that's damp or wet. So what I was thinking, I love the Redou. This is Redou 2, right? Yeah, Redou 2. And I love these roses, but there's a whole bunch on here that are smaller. And like this one. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I'm just going to start cutting out a bunch and then see which ones fit. We'll see. Oh, I have one here. And then I have, that's a big leaf. I don't think I want a big leaf, but I might want that one. Let me see if I can get a couple of leaves. That's what I love about these transfers is that there's so much flexibility and you can do so many projects with these. Painterly florals, that's another favorite. It has the sunflowers, it has the roses, it has the lavender, brocante. I actually wanted to use brocante, but I didn't see anything that I wanted to use with this, and so I figured I would wait. And then it also has fonts, words, text, whatever you want to call it. All right, here's a small leaf. Let me make sure. If it had white text, I would have loved it. By the way, speaking of white text, the traditional pots, I have them available finally. I thought I had ordered them before, and I didn't, so I just got them in this week, put them in the store, and I can't wait to use them. I haven't used them yet. I may have to go back and hit that, but I'll do that. I'm just feeling of it, as my husband would say. So I just thought, like, the red would just make it pop. So I'm just going to lay it out before I do anything. May not even need that leaf. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I wish I could see your comments. Let me see. On the phone, on my iPad I can, but no. But on my phone I can't. I'm sorry. All right. This is still wet. All right, so what I'm going to do is, all right, so I want that there. Okay, I'm going to do the leaves first, and then I'll figure that one out. You know what I didn't bring? I didn't bring a burnishing stick. Let me use my nail like I do. There we go. So when you get it down, go ahead and burnish it. I know I want this exactly here, so what I'm going to do is so the whole purpose of Christ in Crafting, I've been talking about this, is that, you know, Jesus is the reason for celebrating Christmas, and it's not always about the gifts, but these are great gift ideas that you can make, because making a gift is so awesome, you know, to be able to make something for somebody. It makes it so special, and a lot of times we, you know, just go on Amazon, or, you know, if there's nothing in the store, or if we can't get to the store, then we're going to Amazon and ordering online, or ordering gift cards or what have you. And you know, just giving you ideas because supposedly it's going to be hard to find anything in the stores. And so why not? I wonder if I should do it this way. I wish I could see your comments so that I could, or maybe I'll do this. Yeah, I think I'll do this coming this way. Okay, let's see how that goes. But anyway, just giving you ideas of, I'm going to go like this. Oh, I needed to get that down though. Alright, let me see if I can bring it down more. This way I can lift it up. Sometimes you got to go with the flow and change it up. But anyway, I hope that you are inspired by some of the things that we're making. I'm bringing on several of my friends. I'm not going to tell you who they are before they get on there, but I've got some really great friends coming on to help me and share some scripture, share some stories. And see how you can layer. I've layered the leaf to the flower. Now I'm putting this on here. And see how I'm just using my nail. Like, you just have to put a little bit of pressure. You really don't want a lot of pressure. I used to, when I first started, like, scrubbing. You don't have to do that. It actually makes it harder. Just a little bit. But my nails are super hard. That's why I always have a hard time sometimes with decoupaging. I have to make sure my nails don't get in the way because they will rip the paper if I don't hold the saran paper right. You just want to make sure it's nice and adhered because when you go to put your top coat on it, if there's a bubble, it won't do good. It won't do right at all. And you don't want that. And I think I'm going to go ahead when I'm done too is paint the edges. This whole thing is up, but I can get that. All right, I'm going to do this one here. Because it'll be on the paper, so I can lift it up there. But this one, it was half on, half off. Shh, Penny. No, Penny. This is wet. I don't know that this is going to get on. Because it's very damp. It's tearing the paper up. I need glue. I did the other day when I was doing something, I did fix it. And I just let it dry. And then I went back. What is it, baby? You're okay. You're okay. All right. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I wonder if the liquid patina, I don't think the liquid patina would do it. I think I need, yeah. If you use, the Tide Bond Quick and Thick, it works. That's what I did. You could also use Mod Podge. I can't even get to that. That's far away. Okay. So if it doesn't go from one way, hit it from the other. See? Salvaged. There we go. So now, where is my, here it is. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to hit it with this. See, this is a great way if you go out thrifting or if you have something in your house and you just want to change it up because you're tired of it, you don't like it anymore, or perhaps it's just outdated, you want to change it, the color scheme is off, whatever it is. You can take paint. I was going to distress that a little bit, but I forgot. You can take paint, transfers, IOD, decoupage paper, whatever, and change it up. You don't have to buy something brand new. you can just change up what you have to make it fit or to give it to somebody. So we're going to let this dry, but what do you think? All right, let me see if I can hit this. Let's see what happens. Try not to stay in one spot. Move it around so that it doesn't damage. Alright, I'm not going to do any more, but see, the flowers kind of camouflage that there's the paper didn't go all the way. If you look at it at an angle, you can see it, but I think it looks pretty cool. And once this dries, I think it's going to level out. And then all I'm going to do is, just like with my regular decoupage paper, oh, I need to sum that up. Just with the decoupage paper, I will take my sanding sponge and hit it, but I only do that after it's dry. I don't do that when it's wet because I don't want to tear the paper up in the wrong way. And then what I'm going to do is, because I don't like that raw edge that they left, the factory, I'm going to hit it with, some of my edges here too need to be cut off. And so once I do that, then I'll go ahead and hit it with the black. But I've got Zara Quiet. So, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed today's installment of Christ and Crafting for Christmas. I hope you are encouraged. I hope that you will remember to celebrate all things. And I hope that you have an incredibly blessed day. Thank you guys for sprinkling, for the love, for your kindness, for watching, and for your support. Have an incredibly blessed day. Tomorrow, it'll be late, but we will do something. I don't know what, but God will give me something to do. Hope you have a blessed day.